Hello everyone, welcome to another question and answer show here on What You've Played. My name is Matthew and together, with a bunch of your help, let's endeavour to answer all of the internet's burning board game questions. Our first question is, what are the things you'll never do again in the board game hobby? Do we have regrets, people? Things that we did in the board game hobby, we'll never do again. Do we go into a local game shop and tell the owner, go to hell? I don't know if you did that. Don't, probably would be my suggestion. So I've got a few answers to this, and I'm very interested to see what other people have to say. So I went with things that I'll try not to do again in the board game hobby is the way I've answered this. The first one is start a game group. I'll probably try not to ever start a game group again, because when I did that, I started like an online thing and I got people, I rented a place out in a pub in town, and it was so much work and I was so unprepared. And I wasn't prepared for the types of people who were going to come to it. I started a board game group and I was specific, a hobby board game group. These are the types of games, And it ended up being a group where I had to teach table after table how to play games because they never played games before. And I wasn't prepared for that. And it honestly wasn't really what I wanted. I don't think I'll start another board game group like that. It's not like a casual, anyone can join type thing. I would join one, but I don't think I'd start one again. The next one I've written down is a bit ethereal really, but I'm going to try to never feel like I'm missing out when I don't play a game or don't get to go to an event. Will I do this in the real world? No. I have FOMO, disappointment. Oh, I wish I was at this. These are human emotional feelings, and I, regardless of what people have said, I'm a human with a fully functioning emotional centre. And, it's just impossible to not be down about stuff like that. But I'm trying not to get the best of me sometimes, No, I've never got a chance to play that game. I really wanted to, I never get a chance to play it. That's fine. There's more games. And sometimes if you really want something, you make it happen rather than try to hope it happens. And maybe if I really wanted it, I'd have made it happen. That's part of it. I really wanted to play this game. So I bought it and I took it to a convention and I grabbed 6 people and said, I will you know what I mean? You make these things happen. But I get down when I see people at events and I go, I wish I was invited to that. I wish I was doing that. And then you think, well, that's no way to live. It's just not. I'm going to try not to allow myself to feel that way anymore. Another thing I definitely think I've been pretty good at is I stopped taking one person's word for it. And by that I mean any game, really. There are some people out there who, if they say, I love this game, I'm probably going to like it. Well, it's no guarantee. There's some people whose opinion I respect incredibly, but their decisions baffle me. I go, really? I think I need a second opinion. I'm going to go to this other person. You can never just take one person's word for it. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to do your research. You've got to find out. We're going to spend our hard-earned cash on these games, and I just can't just take someone's word for it anymore. Something that's terrifying is when someone says, oh, Matthew, I saw that you said this about a game, so I bought it. And I go, great. I really, really hope you like it, because you bought it. And now it's my fault. I feel like, don't just take my word for it. Do. Obviously, I'm infallible, but I'm not going to just take one person's opinion. And the final thing that I'll never do in board games ever again in this hobby, I will never do this. Ever again. I will never not check the language that the game comes in before I buy it. Because I have a German version of Dogs of War, but I can't play it. I don't speak even rudimentary German. And I just didn't check. I was like, this is too good to be true. This is 25 quid. It's crazy. I'm definitely getting this. Came and I was like, oh no, darn it. Always check the language, people. Check it. Check it twice. How about you? What are the things that you'll not do again in the board game hobby? I'd love to know what you think. But one thing I'm very happy we're doing again, it's having a sponsor for this month's episode who, in part, helped make it possible.
If you want an insert for your game that's affordable, lightweight, beautiful, and will make the setup and play of your game faster, have I got something for you. The fine folks at Folded Space have an entire line of custom inserts, but let me give you a quick example with this new one they have for Cascadia. This is an officially licensed product that will store both the base game and Landmark's expansion in the original box, designed so you can pull the contents straight from the box and be ready to play in moments. Not only that, Folded Space has made a big visual update with this set, putting beautiful imagery on the different pieces so the insert complements your play area during the game. Perhaps even better, you'll find icons within the different sections of the insert to remind you of where the pieces go, which is a great extra feature. When you're ready to put things away, everything goes back inside along with the rule books, allowing everything to fit snugly inside the box, keeping the components in place for both horizontal and vertical storage. The entire product is packaged as 3 boards that punch out easily to ensure there's no damage to the edges. You then assemble the pieces using the Clear to Follow guide. All you need is a bit of PVA glue and you'll have it put together in no time. And because it's made of quality material, it will stand up to wear and tear. And being thrown around the room, apparently. And this is just one of their inserts. They have over 170 more, with new ones being added all the time. If you like what you see, do go to foldedspace.net, which is also linked in the description of this video. Grab an insert for one or more of your favorite titles directly, or in the US, you'll also find them at Miniature Market and at Board Game Bliss in Canada.
What are the themes that you think should never be made in games? Which things are too taboo? One thing I always say is that there's a theme out there for everyone, right? A theme that you will love, really enjoy, a thing that you want. But on the other hand, getting someone to design that game, or stock that game, or sell that game, or play that game with you, those things might not be out there. So I wrote a few things down, and because while I can think of things that I would personally put on a taboo list, it depends on the context. I've written down who makes the game, what perspective does it take, what's the message, how much time has passed. You know, we've got war games. Whose side were you on? Or was your nation on? I mean, for instance, I put Oppenheimer as an example because the Japanese didn't like the movie Oppenheimer because it showed a very American side of that whole incident. There was a game called Prison Architect. I did a video for it, actually, a preview video for it. And when it came out, the preview and the Kickstarter started, the game got so much backlash from the community that the game cancelled and they never made it. Prison Architect happens to be based on an incredibly successful video game franchise. So there was a lot of shock and surprise by the people making that game that board gamers didn't want it. They saw that it was not correct to have a game that trivialized in ways the plight of what was the American prison system. You know, we're using these people who are put behind bars as our enjoyment in this abstracted form. Was I offended by the game? Not in the slightest. I was surprised as anyone that the game got cancelled. I thought the game was good. But there was a distaste in American culture on that game. One thing we have to realise is the culture of board games is American focused. There is an American lens that goes over what we make and what's acceptable. Like it or lump it, we have to live with that. I get very frustrated sometimes by having to deal with American sensibilities where I'm not American. There are certain taboos in America that don't exist in other countries. And Prison Architect was a victim of that. Should the game exist? I honestly don't think it shouldn't exist. Should they be careful and try to create a game that is more sensitive based on that being the theme of the game? Yes, I do think so. But are there any themes that shouldn't ever exist? I think the context of it really matters so much. When you think of playing a game where you are doing something terrible to do that terrible thing the best, I think is not a good idea. I wouldn't want to play that game. But playing a game where something terrible is happening and you are trying to overcome that, That's the same theme, but a different perspective. I think that makes it, in some ways, valuable. Perhaps historically, we learn about things. Are board games the best way to learn history? No, but are they a fantastic pathway into understanding and maybe opening your horizons about something? Yeah. Do I want all board games to do that? No. I just want to lay some tiles, please, and count sheep. That's brilliant. But board games can be a great avenue for that. I think of games like This War of Mine, which is based on the Siege of Sarajevo. It's not, but Sarajevo's on the front of the box, so it is. The Siege of Sarajevo was a horrendous event that happened where thousands of people died. And This War of Mine is about the plight of those people and overcoming it. And it's a great game. I think one problem we have is the fact that we play games for enjoyment. And that can be a difficult battle within your mind. Am I allowed to enjoy this? Well, I enjoy war films a lot. Video games are often about going around shooting people. And the people you're shooting aren't the bad guys. They're the people who live in the country that the bad guys rule. I do think that there's a cerebral nature to board games specifically that makes it difficult to just have fun doing it without thinking about, I've now got to make the decision to do this. And I think that can be a difficult thing to overcome. There are certainly themes within board games that I do not want to play. That's definitely true. But am I the arbiter of what games should exist at all? I think that's a bit of a stretch for anyone to claim. And I do think that if you can make a game from an interesting, thoughtful perspective, you should. And I think go for it. Whatever the topic happens to be. Will everyone want to play it? Maybe not. Are there things that games should not do? And why is it that board games shouldn't do them, but movies, video games, books can do them? Let me know. And our final question for some emotional whiplash here is, what are the best games on Board Game Arena? Thank heavens. So, I play an incredible amount of games on Board Game Arena. I love Board Game Arena. For some transparency in this world, Board Game Arena have sponsored me to, they have a sponsor segment on the news often, and so forth and so on. Just to be clear, that we've had a working relationship with Board Game Arena in the past, so that's that. I've written a list, though, of my favourite games to play specifically on Board Game Arena. Now, what makes it better on Board Game Arena or worse? Perhaps some of them are. The second, the criteria for this list isn't these are my favourite games that happen to be on there. For instance, one of them is Bunny Kingdom. Bunny Kingdom is a fantastic game. There's an implementation on Board Game Arena. It's brilliant. I absolutely love playing Bunny Kingdom. I was so surprised by that game. I did not think I was going to like it. I love it. But Board Game Arena makes the game so much easier to play. And that's the beauty. Those are the criteria for this list. What games are improved by them being on Board Game Arena sometimes? So I've got the Castles of Burgundy. No setup. You don't have to flip any little tiles. I'm talking about regular Castles of Burgundy, not like deluxe editions. You don't have to sort anything out, flip any tiles. It's brilliant. It makes playing the game so much easier. Sea Salt and Paper. I think that works brilliantly on Board Game Arena. And it just is easier to play there. Calculating your points and all that type of stuff. Just Board Game Arena makes it easier. Planet Unknown. I also play this on Sovereignty. But on Board Game Arena, there's just an ease of play. Take your tile, pop it on, do all this stuff. Great. Love that on Board Game Arena. Then the last two are Stone Age, which is a great game, and I think the implementation on Board Game Arena is brilliant, and Carcassonne. The reason I put Carcassonne on is because I love playing Carcassonne in person. I love playing all these games in person, but Carcassonne just does the scoring for you. That's the beauty of Board Game Arena. It does the scoring for you. And sometimes it will teach you how to play as you play. You don't necessarily need to know all the rules to a game before you play it on Board Game Arena. You can just click your way through and try to do your best. But there are games that I love on Board Game Arena that I don't want to play on there. Two of them I can think of are No Thanks. I don't want to play No Thanks on Board Game Arena. I want to play it in person around a table with my friends to see their faces, their agony as they have to say, oh gosh, do I put another chip on here? And it's just not improved by Board Game Arena. I love it that it's there, but I'd rather play that in person. And the second one in that regard would be, I've written it down, that's Turn and Taxes. I want to play Turn and Taxes in person. I don't know why, I just love that game in person. It's a brilliant game. That's what Board Game Arena takes up. It gives you the opportunity to play all these games, but it's not playing it around a table with friends. Not really. Sometimes I get on a Zoom call and play a game on Board Game Arena just so I can have the experience of being around people to do it, which is really why I play games anyway. So that's my list. What are your favourite games to play on Board Game Arena, and why are they specifically your favourites on the platform? Let me know. And thank you so much everyone for joining me for another month of Q&As here on Watch It Played. I'll see you next time. And until then, thanks for watching everyone. Bye.